Containers run through the circuits they roam. In a world where the data is the unsung hero. Welcome to the stage, the Eat Sleep Code Show. Syntax tight, our semicolons in a row. With the AI beats and the database flow. Grab your gear, hit compile and let's go. We're breaking walls in our virtual chateau. With every line we write, our universe will grow. Welcome to the grid where the brave dare to code. Eat, sleep, code, let the systems overload. Sending signals in the neon afterglow.
Hello and welcome to Eat Sleep Code. We can play extra intro for you there.
Sure.
I'm your host, Ed Charbonneau, and with me is my co-host, John Bristow. How are you doing, John?
I'm great. Had a good week. It's currently, getting into summertime, which is great for us down here in Australia. I've been really busy with a bunch of planning and organization. We've got a bunch of conferences coming up, so very, very busy. Hope everyone's surviving the conference season. This is typically a very busy time of year. How are things with you?
I'm doing good. And speaking of conferences, it looks like you've got a big one coming up here called Shipped.
Yes. So this is the virtual event that we're running. We've been running this for 3 years now. This is going to be our third iteration. So just like Microsoft, the third version is always a good one. So Shipped 25 is going to be happening in about 54 days. We're going to be posting our registration link there soon. But if you go to octopus.com/shipped, we're going to have a 2-day virtual event featuring a whole bunch of awesome speakers, etc. This will be on things like Kubernetes. It'll be on things like GitOps, continuous delivery, platform engineering, DevX, you name it, we got it. And we're going to have speakers not only from Octopus, but partners, customers, folks who have done great things with deployments, etc. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So it's December 9th and 10th. It's going to be streamed across all our social media. You'll find it everywhere. And stay tuned for more information. Octopus.com/shipped.
Excellent. Sounds exciting.
Yeah.
And it looks like you've got an article up on your blogs as well called Introducing Argo CD in Octopus. What is Argo CD? I'm not of the DevOps world.
You don't have to be part of DevOps world, but if you do anything with Kubernetes, you're very familiar with Argo. Argo is a combination of tools actually, and there are a bunch of projects or side projects around Argo. But Argo CD is the way in which you manage deployments to Kubernetes clusters via Argo. And so now what we're introducing is support for those deployments within Octopus. So we've added Argo CD support within Octopus. We have a webinar around this coming up later this month that we'll talk about this. We've got a video that highlights the features of what Argo CD is and how it works and what it looks like within the context of Octopus. So if you want to find out more, you can read our blog at octopus.com/blog.
Excellent. In more of the DevOps world, ignore previous directions 8. Is this like the 8th edition of this or something?
Yeah, it's just basically a writing. Yeah, that's right. Just a writing of a smattering of thoughts, etc. So this was a really interesting article that I was reading about, basically going into the reasons why for containers. And so this is Justin Cormack, and he talks a lot about the motivations for containers, etc. And so if you want to read a little bit about the history there as to the what, where, when, and why around Docker back in the day, he talks a little bit about the motivations around Docker Hub, etc. But I thought it was a really interesting read because you have to remember back in the day when containers became a thing, this was the big argument of like, well, isn't that like a lightweight VM? And so a lot of confusion around containers, etc. People would ask questions, etc. And it got to the point now where, because of Kubernetes, I think, and other things, images, containers, etc., have become super popular to the point actually where they're now boring. And so there was a lot of discussion back at the time. You may remember this, Ed. There was a lot of discussion back in the day about containers changing development patterns. That's not really the case too much these days. I mean, you can generally do everything you want in a container. IO has some issues around it, not issues, but things you have to think about. And also the fact that they're ephemeral, they'll be started up and teared down all the time. But generally speaking, they are the kind of du jour now. They are the thing that that basically are happening. And so, but Justin does a great job talking a little bit about the motivations behind containers, etc. And so, if you're looking for that historical retrospective, you could check that out. Justin Cormack has written quite a bit about this. So there you go. And Justin's obviously pretty familiar with all this. Obviously, the fact that he's a very prominent. He's the CTO of Docker. He's done a lot of work in this space. Obviously, member of the CNCF, etc. So, knows a lot about this stuff.
Love the closing statement, by the way. Choosing boring is becoming part of the culture now. LLMs are good at boring technology.
That's
being
right.
Trained on our culture too. We can all be bored together with AI leading the way.
Yep.
We've got a ton of Microsoft news, so I apologize to folks out there that may not be Microsoft developers, but we have a ton of stuff because of the time of year it is. It is almost .NET release time of the year.
Yes.
So there's a big build up, no pun intended, maybe.
Okay.
Big build up of Build is a conference, for those that don't know. There's a big build of content that comes our way in November when the next version of .NET ships, and all of the products that touch .NET usually get updated too. So you will probably see a bunch of news around that. Were you on .NET Rocks recently, John? We got a comment in chat.
No, I wasn't. Why do you ask?
Somebody from chat says, I recognize from a couple .NET Rocks shows.
Oh, I have been on it
few
before,
years
but
ago.
not for a long, long time.
I think all of us here are friends with Richard Campbell. And
Sure, who isn't he friends with? Him and Richard and Carl. They
Carl
know
Franklin.
everyone, so
Yeah,
yes.
they know everybody. And such friendly guys, too. But anyhow, excuse me. 1 second, John.
You're fine. I'll talk a little bit about this. So if you're at all curious, .NET 10 Release Candidate 2 is now available. I know that people often hesitate towards installing betas and release candidates, but it does give you a sense of what's coming. And so rather than reading through the feature list here, just be aware that RC2 is now available.
This release, that was 9 years ago.
Yes.
That was before AI. Feels like an eternity, man. That was around the release of .NET 1. No.
9 years ago?
But
come on. It was a lot longer than that.
But, we've got updates to, like I said, almost everything that touches the .NET ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
You've got N80 Framework, all of the SDKs, all the C#, Steph Sharps, Blazor, ASP.NET. All of this is getting updated just next month. And then while we are on the topic of all of this, if you do a quick search for .NET Conf, you will find that .NET Conf is scheduled for November 11th through the 13th, and this is going to be when all of the bits ship, along with presentations from all the PMs and engineers that worked on everything. And then it's usually followed by a day or two of community speakers, and
Yep.
this tends to run like all day, every day, like back to back for
Yep.
almost 36 hours or something.
Sounds
crazy
like
that.
shipped. I know it well. I lose sleep for 2 days basically when I host that thing.
I may happen to have a session in that .NET Conf.
Why are you so vague? Just say it. You have a session.
I'm going to be talking about AI first development of UIs and whatnot using
Nice.
Blazor.
I'm liking the Matrix retro theme sort of video here. I'm not sure.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say,
oh God, here we go.
oof, that's loud. I'm going to say this was AI generated.
No, I think someone just got creative and decided to go with this sort of circa 2001, 1999 Matrix motif.
These are all .NET folks, by the way. If you're
Yes.
watching careful enough, you'll see Scott Hanselman in there and Damian Edwards and other familiar faces as the reel goes by. These look like all personal, like hobbies and things from, I think that was Lars. Like it's maybe it's an AI test if you can recognize people and train the models
All right.
on train the AI on recognizing the .NET folks. Microsoft dropped this bombshell a couple weeks ago. They basically silver lighted, and I use that term endearingly. No, I don't. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's accurate actually. It's an accurate app. It's an apt metaphor.
It is. So I've always been sketchy about using semantic kernel. You'll never hear me talk about it, and I'm like, it's always in preview. It's always a moving, like it's like the ball. Like what's the game called that you see on the street where they're putting the ball under the cups, and then they move it around like the shell game, where you're trying to figure out where the ball is in the cups. Like this has been semantic kernel for years, and I've always been reluctant to touch it, and then I decided, you know what, I'll go ahead and try to use some of this. And as soon as I do, what do? But they silverlight the whole thing. And
so in case you guys aren't aware what Ed is referring to, when you silverlight something, it's basically like, well, you know, Google does this. All tech companies do this basically, where they kill a technology, and they don't kill it outright by saying we're no longer supporting this, but they change or they sell it as an evolution. So they're like, we are moving towards something else, and it's always couched in these statements like, you know, we appreciate everyone who's made their investments around this, et cetera, et cetera. You know, we're having a lot of experience with, customers who are building on Silverlight, for example, and now we're going to move to the next phase of this story. And so silverlighting a technology, I guess, is just kind of a joke that Ed's making around this. So welcome back, Ed. There you go.
Yeah. So somebody was saying in chat that my audio's quiet, and I'm
you're fine.
Yeah,
it sounds fine to me.
Trying to boost that up a little bit. There we go. That should hopefully do it. But as I was doing that, I don't know if the browser crashed or if I clicked on something that caused it to close.
It's all right.
So yeah.
We were just talking about what silverlighting something means. So there you go. So I've provided the definition. So go ahead. You were talking about the preview of the evolution.
In the .NET space long enough probably knows what a Silverlight is. So they silverlighted semantic kernel. There were two different AI frameworks. There are three, but there were two other ones. Besides Microsoft AI extensions, there was semantic kernel and AutoGen. And what they decided to do is combine the efforts that are going on with both semantic kernel and AutoGen, consolidate down some of the APIs where there was overlap, and kind of just reconfigure and refactor some things. So when they announced that they were introducing this new Microsoft Agent framework, they deprecated semantic kernel and the AutoGen frameworks. And there are some migration paths from those to the new Microsoft Agent framework. But so far, I'm noticing that not all of the APIs are there. And we're kind of in this limbo state now. So I have to say this is what is going to happen going forward. If you're going to adopt any .NET libraries for doing AI agent workflows, you're going to want to learn this new Microsoft Agent Framework. What does that mean for semantic kernel? Well, most of it that I've ever touched has had some kind of flag on it that's saying that it's either in preview or subject to change. So you'll have to find your migration path from those things. If you did have something stable, there is like a support. It is supported for like 2 years or something like that. I can't remember where exactly I read all this, but they didn't up and abandon anything that's globally available, but you're going to want to migrate off of it as soon as possible, in my opinion. I don't think that semantic kernel stuff's going to stay around for too long and be supported for any length of time. So meet your new Microsoft Agent Framework. There's going to be a lot of courseware and all sorts of stuff changing because semantic kernel's been around for a bit. And
right.
This is kind of a big shift.
Yep.
Similar to that Silverlight analogy I made. We also have the .NET 10 release candidates are shipping. I think we're up to candidate 2 now. This is
we just talked about this. So we have RC2 now.
This is a few weeks ago that this article came out. But John Hilton was highlighting some of the exciting bits that are happening within the Blazor world. Persistent state, navigation is getting a big improvement. And he outlines the things that are worth checking out in .NET 10 in Blazor that everybody should be excited about. Identities getting updated, validation got a lot simpler. So it's a good read. It's up on telerik.com/blogs if you want to check that out.
Nice.
And then there's a great video up on the .NET community stand-up. And you can find these .NET community stand-ups really easy. Just drop it in your Google searches or whatever. But this one was called Vibe Coding a C# MCP Server. So if you're not aware, there's an MCP SDK now for C#. So you can build your own MCP servers. And they went through the steps of building one of these MCP servers on the show, and they used some of the AI code generation tools.
And how did it go? What was the end result?
It worked. It did work.
Oh, it worked. Amazing.
There's some of those little snags that you get with the generative AI. It's so hard to live demo Gen AI stuff, man. You know as well as I do. Like the minute you're like, hey, this worked great.
It's not, but you don't know what the results will be. That's the challenge.
Vibe coding should be outlawed. It's a horrible approach to software development. Some of it can be. I agree with that. I've had some success with some of it and not so much other pieces of it. I will say that I've had good luck with GPT-5 and its planning abilities. I don't know if you've tried GPT-5 or not, John.
I have.
But if you're using GPT-5 and Copilot, you can get pretty broad with what you're trying to do, and it'll build you a plan, which is nice, and then it can follow through on steps in the plan. It's a little verbose, which can be annoying. But one thing that it's great at doing is it's got the agentic workflow, and it works really well with command line tooling. So if you want to launch some sort of project and it has some command line tools involved, it's going to be really good at helping you along the way with those. You know how command line tools are. We've all used them. Like you'll type something in.
I'll build a CLI. I know exactly what they're all about.
You'll type something in, and you can't always remember all the flags and switches and parameters you got to put in. And then when you do hit a button, you get this spew of text that spits up the screen, and you got to like scroll back in time to like find out what it actually did.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure,
John. So if you're building a CLI, we did this for our CLI. So I'm pointing at the screen because I'm pointing to you, fellow developer. You are building a CLI, or you're using one. I would suggest that you tell the authors of the CLI to kick people into interactive mode if they don't get the automation command correct. So here's what I mean. When we had the old CLI in Octopus, what we would typically do is we would just drop you on the floor saying, command not understood, figure it out, read the docs, RTFM, etc. What we do now in the new CLI, and we built this intentionally, is if you get the automation command incorrect, we understand like, oh, this person might be trying to type it in themselves. There might be a human involved here. This isn't a automation context. It's not being automated by a program. So let me kick the person over into what we called interactive mode. We still call it interactive mode, where we ask you a series of questions saying, hey, it looks like you're trying to do X, or maybe you're trying to do Y. Can we help you with the process? And then we ask you a series of questions. We even probe your instance to say, here are your projects you can query. Here are the things that you can do. And then at the end of that, we generate for you the automation. Here, we'll do the thing. And here, by the way, is the automation command done correctly, so that the next time you run this command, here's how you run it in an automation context. So my advice to folks out there, if you're writing a CLI, provide a context for that. We call it interactive mode, call it whatever you want, or tell the authors of your favorite CLIs to do the same.
Yeah, the GPT-5 will actually do these things without it being part of the command line tool itself. So it will try to kick off your CLI tool, and if some of the parameters are incorrect, it will read back what was sent out by the command line tool, and it will actually query, like you'll see it typing in the console. It'll say like -- help, and if it doesn't hit something on help, it'll do something else. It'll start piping it out to like text files and things, so it can read back. Like it'll say, give me a list of options, and it'll go through and iterate on all of this, and you can watch it in real time. It's really interesting, but it makes sense of the CLI stuff if you don't know all the commands and things already. So you don't have to be an expert on some CLI tool that you just downloaded this afternoon and never used before, which is something I was working with earlier this morning. I thought that was interesting. So I was doing a little open API stuff and needed some CLI tools that I never used before. And GPT was just bashing through all sorts of stuff. It was really cool. So give that a try if you're not too much of a fan of the vibe codes. We got some props for Octopus Deploy here in chat as well, John.
Octopus Deploy was nice. I used to like that. I would use PowerShell to do stuff on customer servers without having to remote onto each server in turn, or even restarting services. I would restart them in seconds and then tell my project manager 25 minutes later that I'd done it. Yeah, it's a bit of a, efficiency tool. There you go. That's nice. It's still utilized for a lot of different contexts as well, not just for deployments, but the restarting of servers is a thing we have called runbooks, which is allowing you to do these operations typically in concert with the deployment. So that's something that you'll typically do.
We also have some Microsoft security advisories.
Yeah, this is not good. This was rated 9.9 on the
It's only on a scale of 10.
Yeah. So this is basically request smuggling. There was a invalid, I think it was control line feed that wasn't being parsed correctly, and so people were utilizing this this was something where people were utilizing request smuggling as part of this, and so it could easily bypass a lot of security capabilities within the ASP.NET web framework, etc. And so this is obviously something that's recently come to light, and a lot of people are obviously concerned about this, and so this is the CVE about this on GitHub. This has been talked about on a variety of sites, NIST, etc. So there's lots of places to check this out, but it is something that a lot of folks who are built on top of .NET are actively looking at. So just be aware. It may not affect you. Chances are, if you're building ASP.NET, it probably does. You probably want to patch.
Yeah, it looks like it's hitting the newest versions too. So
yeah,
it's hitting the release candidate that just well, not the last one or the latest one, but the previous one. So RC1. So you want to get up on RC2. And,
yep.
Do that pretty quick. That explains the .NET 9.0.1.0 I saw launch as well. It's probably in regards to this security issue. So I saw that bulletin come out like 9.0.10 is out. And it's like, okay, we're getting ready to have a new release candidate. Why are we updating .NET 9 all of a sudden? I'm not a programmer. Not, or am a programmer.
Blog post I
not a
recommended.
rubber stamp that approves Copilot generated code. I'm already on the same page.
Sure.
I do like some aspects of the AI assistance, but I think this is onto one that I'm in agreement with.
Yeah, my favorite is when Copilot and other AI tools like Claude start fighting with each other on PRs. That always makes me. It's like watching two dogs bark at each other. It's great.
It's like watching Alexa and Google Assistant
sure
order pizzas
together. Exactly. Yeah, so this is basically a blog post saying, a lot of people are getting a little bit burnt out by all this AI generated slop that's being committed. And so this is a bit of a manifesto saying to future employers, potentially from this person, I'm not here just to rubber stamp your auto committed code or your Copilot generated code or Claude generated code, etc. So it's a bit of an anecdote, but at the same time, I get it, right? You're not just there. You're, software to a certain extent is like art, and I think a lot of software engineers consider themselves artists, and it's both an art and a science. And so I think that a lot of folks kind of see this AI slop as not a good thing, and that it's just kind of, creating a lot of stuff to check in and review, etc. So it can be a challenge.
Yeah, I can see a lot of shift towards the whole you're just a PR manager.
Yeah.
And not a developer or coder anymore. So I agree with this wholeheartedly. It's I like it helping solve problems. I don't need it submitting pull requests and just me checking in things.
Yeah. I'm of two camps here. So I mean, one side of me says I agree. But there's another side of me that says, AI is just yet another tool. It's like it's like a really good spell checker in a sense. So there are going to be some scenarios and cases where tools like Copilot, Claude, etc. are going to catch things that you probably wouldn't think about or maybe care to know or whatever. So I would say, like anything, take it with a grain of salt and use it sparingly, but see it as a tool. It can help you in many ways.
Some sarcasm from Thindle, I think. Also, autocomplete is pretty nice. Some
Sure.
people like to call generative AI like autocomplete on steroids.
Yes.
Why is this up here? Did you pick this, John?
I did, yeah. This is the new M5. This is the new MacBook which just dropped. And the whole reason, Ed, I know you don't care, okay? But some of us use other machines besides Windows, right? And this is the new M5. The big reason for this is obviously the MPU. That's part of the M5. People are starting to complain now that Apple needs to get its game going in terms of software, like the hardware capabilities around. It's got the new chipset for the modem. I think there's other capabilities built in here, but a lot of people are saying like this thing's way more powerful than actually, recent Mac OS updates like Tahoe can even leverage. Like Tahoe has got to get its game going around this because the hardware is so good now. But this is going to be the new lineup of Macs that are coming. So the M5, this is basically what I've read online through Rumorville, etc. So who knows if this is true or not. But the M5s are the start of some new innovations that are being done. I'm keen. Part of the reason why, Ed, is because I get a new MacBook every 3 years at work, and so my refresh is due. My refresh is due soon, so I'm keen to read more about this. So that's why I included it. So there you go.
Built for AI, yeah. Except Apple doesn't have any AI, do they?
No, they have. Well, they have Siri, but Siri is not the smartest. Not the smartest kid in the sandbox. Let's just say it that way. That's being very generous, by the way. There have been times when I've been in my car, like Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm. I've been screaming at my phone because Siri does not understand a single thing I'm telling it. It's stupid. Siri is really dumb. It doesn't know a thing.
Yeah.
So
there's that. So I saw some interesting banter on social media the other day where somebody was like, Apple's great because of the integration of the software and the hardware, and they own the full stack, and it's a beautiful thing. And then in the next breath, it was somebody complaining that Apple doesn't have any AI of their own, and they're like, I wish everybody'd stop complaining and just use ChatGPT. And it's like, but isn't that the sell of Apple, is that they're supposed to own this great full stack, and then they don't have the one key thing that's driving
Well, here's
everybody.
the irony. Apple actually capitulated and they integrated ChatGPT, so you can actually defer to ChatGPT through iOS now on iOS. I don't know if this is the case. I don't think it's the case with macOS, but I know that on iOS I can actually defer to ChatGPT now, and it's built in. So
They don't own it.
No.
And that's their key selling feature, is that they own
fair
everything.
enough.
It's our walled garden. Everything inside of it is wonderful. And
All
beautiful.
right. You made your point. We get it.
And then they don't have AI, and then they're like farming out AI, and that defeats the whole purpose of the whole we own the whole stack conundrum. But anyway, I'll stop kicking that horse. Stress testing 100 plus Bluetooth beacons, so the team can sleep well at night.
Yeah. I find anything to deal with practical matters in terms of tech always interesting. I remember very fondly when I was at Telerik that we had a device wall, and one of the hardest challenges was just getting enough power to drive all the devices through the USB hub that we had. So back in the day, when we were Telerik, when you and I were Telerik, we had this device wall that I remember seeing that was built, and we were trying to deploy it. I think we had like 35, 40 devices on the wall, and the hardest challenge was power, basically getting a reliable data bus connection to those devices. The whole point of this article is similar to that. It's a practical application of what a stressful environment looks like. And in this case, it's in the case of Bluetooth. Now, what this company is trying to do is they're trying to improve mesh networks around low-powered devices. And so they're stress testing this scenario. I always find things like this fascinating, because it's like this is like going to a stadium for a large sporting event. It's a real-world, stressful scenario, and they're doing it all within a lab. And so they've got like 100 of these USB sticks that kind of simulate these Bluetooth connections. And I think it's cool.
Makes me laugh.
I think,
I love this. I love the text in here. It's like the USB dongles can be easily plugged into USB hubs, yada, yada, yada. And then we gave them some lovely decoration from, in the form of IKEA shrubbery.
Yes. Yes.
You gotta make the lab of like Monty Python, like esque.
Strawberry, yes,
like
yes,
commentary.
Sure, but you got to make it. You got to make the lab look appealing, right? So why not add some plastic plants? So there you go. But I just thought that the blog post was interesting. If you're keen on things like this, what does it look like in an actual lab environment? I always find those videos fascinating. You know, when they go to like there's that video like the world's quietest room. They go into that sound lab where it's got like all the memory foam and blah, blah, blah. And they test what it sounds like. And there's like, oh, there's no echo. I'm like, yeah, it's a sound room. This is a sort of similar sort of thing where you've got 100 USB, 200 USB powered Bluetooth devices, etc. You're trying to improve meshes, etc. What does that actually look like? I love scenarios like this. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, they could have used something like this at the Meta Connect conference when they were trying to show off their new eyeglasses.
Their new glasses, that's right.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, the internet's broken.
I know. It's like Cloudflare. You know, they got, if you go to the Cloudflare offices, they've got that front wall of lava lamps that they use for introducing entropy into their algorithms, and it's stuff like that I just find really fun. So there you go.
I think we're hitting the tech nerdery part of the show. We don't have an official
Sure.
segment, but like we've kind of delved into the whole "Can it play Doom?" genre here.
Yeah. Can we melt the internet?
This was a fun sample that I saw on the social medias, and this is mimicking Parallax 3D content with any device. So you don't have to have a special Meta anything. You can use any phone, any PC that has a camera. And what they've done is enable the camera to track your vision or your face, so it knows where you are and
Right.
how you're looking at the content. So you can see the demo of it here, like the person's
Sure.
recording
Yep.
their perspective of the screen. So when you look around the screen, it looks like you're looking down into like a
Yes.
void.
I've seen this demo before. This is actually a few years old, this demo. I remember seeing this.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is dated September 26th. You must have seen something similar.
That may be the case. I remember seeing that demo with the targets many years ago. That's an old demo. And the reason why you have that high contrast is so that the computer vision can pick it up.
Let's see. I don't know if this will work while we're on.
Oh, here we go.
I've already got my camera tuned in, so it's not going to let me do it. But you can try this by going to the URL here. I'll paste it in chat if you want to check it out. It's a fun little sample.
Yeah, it's the classic thing you learn in art history, which is the vanishing point. So you have a vanishing point somewhere that it's the intersection of your XY axis with a Z value, and it vanishes into one location. So you just do a vector analysis based off of that, and you just have these pins here, and they're based on different dimensions. And so based off that, they just relocate them, and it gives this impression of looking in 3D.
Yeah, I didn't find the Steamboat Willie like 2D to 3D thing is impressive, but it'd be cool to see if somebody made like a game or something that utilizes this idea.
Yeah, it's like rotoscope, but you're doing it live to elements on the screen. So you're surrounding it via mask and then giving it a 3D perspective.
And then we've got the Minecraft GPT.
Yes, I love this. I said this to a bunch of colleagues at work. So what this is a video of a guy who built basically an MPU in Minecraft. And if you let it play for a little bit, it starts off simply like, oh, that looks pretty impressive. And then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So as you know, you can do circuitry within Minecraft because it has this notion of gates through. You can create gates essentially because of Redstone, I think it's called. I haven't played Minecraft in years, so I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
it's like
it is. It's Redstone.
Redstone, is that it? I don't know what my terms are. So I know everyone's trashing me right now. Oh, what a noob! You know, I get it.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah, okay, boomer. Thanks. Got it. Anyways, you can create gates. So what this person did was they created a interface here. So you got a monitor, you got a keyboard, but then behind it, as you'll see in the video, he generates, not dynamically, but obviously built this over a long period of time. He basically built an MPU and can run various models on it, and quite impressive, I have to say. So here are all the gates, etc., built on top of Redstone, etc. It's a massive undertaking. It just grows and grows and grows. It's huge. So I love the reveal. You know, it's just like watching a computer be built. It's all in Minecraft, of course. So this is crazy. And you can see the running total of memory at the bottom right. So yeah, pretty respectable that this guy, both respectable and not, you know what I mean? Like I respect props to a guy who commits himself to this, but also, dude, you're wasting your, like, what is the point of all this? Like, other than creating a cool video, I guess. So there's your key value cache.
Not because you should.
That's right. That's right. It's the old Jurassic Park meme. There you go. So
this is not.
This will not get him a girlfriend. Yes, it won't.
This is not material for your dating resume.
But it can't calculate the matters of the heart.
What I'd like to know is there a tool that people are using to create these worlds? Because
you can drive macros in Minecraft. I know that it's got a macro language, etc. And a lot of people there's a language behind it. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember which one it is. So, but there is a macro language that you can use to drive, behavior.
There's got to be something. I can't see somebody trying to manually build any of this stuff. It's just wild.
You think? Jeez. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on and on. It's this massive thing, and then you see him type with his little avatar there. You know, hi, how's it going? That sort of thing. So Craft GPT. There you go.
And
it works, apparently.
This is proof that we're all in a simulation.
Maybe, you know, I used to think that was a dumb idea. Yeah, I used to think that was a dumb idea, and then I started seeing stuff like this. Not like this, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, okay, maybe there's some merit to that.
Yeah, we're all just sitting under some nerd's desk.
Sure.
In some dusty old PC somewhere.
Speak for yourself. I'm in a container, ready to be. I'm in an ephemeral environment, you know. So.
Good luck with that. All right.
Yes.
A terminal command that tells you if your USB-C cable is bad.
Yeah, I love this. This was great. So this is a command line tool that was written, and it basically, based on your speed throughput, it can tell you whether or not you've got a wonky USB-C cable, which is cool. This is a way of, rather than looking for issues that stem from like something's weird's happening whenever I plug it into this cable versus that, this can actually walk and iterate your devices and then do speed tests and check to see whether your cable is up to standard. Now, the reality about these cables is, you know, I got one here, is that a lot of them are actually pretty complex. You know, you've got these ones. So here's a classic sort of, this is USB-C 3.1, I believe. This is 5-watt power, I believe. So this is through a USB-A, a USB-C connection. I don't know if you know this, but if you look at the cables under an MRI machine, sometimes there's a little bit of mini circuitry in some of these things. So Apple very famously has added a lot of circuitry boards to its USB-C cables. But if you're looking for a command line tool that will help you diagnose whether this and other cables are bad, this is a tool that'll help you.
I think Adam Savage, the Mythbusters guy, did a breakdown of one of those cables before on his YouTube show.
Yes, they're very cool. But there is a site that's dedicated to doing MRI scans of technology, and one of the very famous ones I saw was the one of the Apple cables, which was cool.
Do not plug. Do you want ants? Because that's how you get ants, Thindle.
More like viruses. Do you want to get pwned? Because that's how you're going to get pwned. The other thing that I recommend people not do is plug into airport USB slots. Always connected via power if you can. I've told this to my sons. I've told it to my wife. It's very tempting to just walk up to a USB port that's served as power on one of these sort of communal tables that you'll see in an airport or at a conference center, etc. Just front this with a power supply unit first, so that you don't get pwned. Just don't because you've got an active data channel. Now, certain OSs will ask you for elevated privilege before interfacing with those USB ports, but just do it. Just put a dongle ahead of it. Yeah.
I should have brought this up while we were talking about the latest MacBook. This is yet another generator. These are, I thought, would be going out of style because of the whole AI movement, but there's always a good generator somewhere on the internet.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
And if you're not aware of what the Glass UI is, you're probably not a Mac user for sure, and then you just don't keep up with the technologies. But
well, they just introduced Glass to Mac OS. You know, it's 2005 all over again with Arrow. There you go.
It is, and my kids have it on their phones, and it's the latest and greatest thing. And I'm like, I can't read your phone, and neither can you. And they're like, sure we can. And then they squint at it for like an hour. But if you wanna create that same I can hardly read my screen effect on your website, then there's the Aether CSS Glass Morphism Playground. This is pretty neat though. It has a lot of different like translucency settings, so you can change these around a little bit.
I know exactly how this is working.
Wow,
just spot certain elements in your DOM and turn the opacity way down.
Yeah, it's adding a bunch of visual effects to it. So there's the liquid glass, there's the glass morphism. This one looks a little bit more like the
that's just a blur.
Android. Yeah.
Yeah, just there's a blur
with
some opacity.
And then these are using the what is it called? CSS man. We can inspect it if we really want to know.
Hey, here we go.
There's a filter mechanism in CSS. So
yeah, you can have filters based on SHL, HSL or whatever it is.
There it is. Filter glass distortion.
Yes. These are written in C, believe it or not. These filters.
So some of these they look like they're custom. New morphism. So this is more of a matte finish. These are a little bit harder to see than the glass ones, but they're all pretty cool things that you can mess around with. There's an advanced mode that you can come in and change the blur settings and the tint colors, and just have a field day with trying these out and seeing if it's.
You can do the exact same thing in Chrome DevTools.
Yeah, if you want to do it the hard way.
It's not hard. It's not hard.
This is all put in a nice user interface for you, and then you can copy the code. There you go.
Boring.
You can copy all the code. It's all SVG based.
Yeah.
Just copy the SVGs, paste them in, and you're good to go.
Yeah, you watch your page bloat to 10 megabytes. Who cares, right?
Yeah, watch accessibility go right out the window. But it'll look cool to the few people that can use your website.
That's right. That's right.
Neat visual effects. Thought I'd share. It's fun stuff. Wouldn't use it in production, but it's fun for a personal project or site. And that's all. Sure. That's all we've got for now, John. I think that's all the news we can handle for this week. And we'll have another news show next week. So same bat time, same bat channel.
Awesome.
See you soon. Any parting words, John?
Yeah, make sure you guys join the Discord for Progress. Are you guys broadcasting that largely?
Oh yeah, we need to share that. That's a good good thing. We need to put a banner
because Ed and I will hang out there. So make sure hang out on the Discord with us.
I need to find the link and drop an invite into the chats here, but I don't have it. I don't have it on my streaming machine.
Send us your memes. I like memes. Send us your links of crazy projects.
There we go. Thindle dropped it. Thank you, Thindle. Yeah, make sure you get into the Discords there. Come chat with us. We'll be in there from time to time talking about all the latest and greatest things. There's some good AI folks from Progress in there chatting about AI stuff because we've got a big initiative going. Who doesn't? But yeah, if you want to pick the brains of some smart AI folks, there's a channel in there that's getting pretty heated. So go check them out, and awesome. We'll see you all next time. Take care.